What's up, friends? Haven't talked to you in a while. And as you see, we have some ketchup cups lined up and 3 jars in front of us. What are we doing here? This jar looks good, but it isn't. This jar shows more of the same problem that originated in here. And I will show you the solution. Essentially, if I take this jar right here and put it to substrate, it will colonize, but it will not fruit. And if we observe this jar, we see some beautiful healthy rhizomorphic growth down here on the bottom, followed by this tomentosy cloud fluffy stuff that doesn't fully colonize up there. These 2 jars are made the same day as this. Well, I'm sorry, these 2 jars were made the same day and they came from here. This jar we see here, less colonization. Mislabeled. So, and if we look in here, we don't see any rhizomorphic growth. So if we go back to our starter jar, I added some grain into the jar once I did my grain to grain, and it didn't colonize that grain all the way. So what do we do in this situation like this? We make ketchup cups, we don't cry about spilled milk, and we get to work. So what I'm going to do is get my spore loop, the metal one. We'll create a hook with it, and then we will come in here and pluck out rhizomorphic growth, like that right there, that right there. I don't really want to go right here. The reason I don't want to go right here is because I got some fluffy mycelium right there. I feel like that may give me some issues. Definitely try to get that out right there. Maybe some from here, some up from here, and get it into those ketchup cups down there. So Alright guys, so before we get started and just start working on our transfers, we'll take a gander at them through the lid real quick. Yeah, looks amazing. Look at the bottom, looks even better. Don't worry, I'll show you guys without the lids on. All I'm just doing right now is kind of like a precursory glance for any kind of bacteria or anything. And you'll see why in a minute. And we do this with the flow hood off before we open anything, because if we have anything, we're just going to get rid of it. So far everything's looking good. I put the food coloring in there, and that kind of tells me when the mycelium has finished pulling the sugar out, because the sugar is made from, or the food coloring is made from propylene glycol, and the mycelium actually attacks the sugar that way. So everything's looking good. Here, go give you guys a nice clear one, clear shot. I mean, everything's looking real good. Yeah. Thought that may have been a little bit of mold right there, some lipstick or anything, but no, it's just not going over to the edge. So, looks like out of all of our transfers out of the jar, none of them contain, so that's positive. So, I am going to go eat a bowl of chili, and then when I get back, we will take some of the better looking ones, put most of that to grain, and then we will save a piece from there, label it, transfer it into another ketchup cup, and continue the pattern of transferring. The ones that I'm going to essentially put to grain are things like this, a little bit healthier looking, but you still see that we got some gaps over here on real thick ropes compared to some of the other ones, and then stuff like this as well. Oh, and also at this point in time, you'll notice that I actually put gloves on. I may keep my sleeves up, I may not, I don't know. It depends on how I'm feeling. But even if I don't, I will pull my arms up, and I'll also spray alcohol up here. And I'm fresh out of the shower, so make sure you do that with clean clothes when you're really starting to do the important work. If you got some isolations left to go, I mean, I'm not going to tell you what to do. Best practice is best practice, but if you have to continue work, I mean, do you and screw it anybody else. Sterile tech is sterile tech. I've done this shit in trash cans before to prove a point. Alright, so we're back. I don't even remember why I was talking about not using this one, so there we go. Hit this with the Dremel tool, put a new edge on it. So, it looks rough, but the edge is actually quite nice. Have our spore loop that we're going to use as a trenching tool. We've already gone through and labeled all of our cups. Each sample is labeled as well. Sample number 1, sample number 2. Sample number 1 gets 3 transfers, 2 jars. Each number will get 2 jars all the way up to the 5th sample. After that point in time, it's kind of like, kind of want to transfer more so than put them to new jars. So that's all we're doing for that, and then the rest of the jars I have, I'll put in with something from here. How is everybody doing? I'm working on a video to where the starting point was a non-fruit yielding mycelium, and what I do is I bring us to fruiting mycelium, and what you have in front of us is results of some of that work. And what I want to show you really doesn't have anything to do other than it's just a step in the process. And when you pay attention, you'll realize that humans aren't artists. Nature is. And I just wanted to share these with you because I haven't seen this many ketchup cups exhibit the same trait unless it's a successful isolation, but then I've never seen it go like this. So I'm gonna turn the flow hood on and we'll just look at it. And granted, in the video we'll go over everything, why I have food coloring in here, and this is just a cat kibble agar. Why is there coloring on the outside of it but not on the inside? And then why is that one colored all the way through? That all tells us something. It has to deal with the I guess robustizing of sugar. I don't fucking know. I'm not a goddamn scientist. But it has to do with the mycelium pulling sugar out of the food coloring, which is a propylene glycol base, which is a sugar derivative. So what I do is well, now that I tell you, essentially once that goes clear, I know that my mycelium is good to use and that it's pulled all of the dextrose out of the agar. So there you go. I'm going to turn the flow hood on and take the caps off of here, and we're just going to look at them. That's all we're going to do. The video will be enough education in there to explain what we're doing. So yeah, let me get this hood on and get started. And for those asking, I've had this hood now for about 2 years. I smoke right in front of it. Never changed the filter, and really honestly don't have any issues with it. I don't understand enough about it, but yeah, that's what we do. And I have a phone call coming right now, so I'm gonna turn the hood on and see it.
I stay up, cashing in my bad luck. Some nights I call it a draw. Some nights I wish that my lips could build a castle. Some nights I wish they just fall off. But I still wake up, I still see your ghost. Oh Lord, I'm still not sure what I stand for. Oh, what do I stand for? What do I stand for? Most nights I don't know anymore.
Alright friends, we're back. Flow hood's off. How come some of them are left like that on the top? Some of them are left like that. And even a question mark. Essentially what I just did was come through, figure out which ones I want to work with, mark them. If I see something that I want to work on immediately, that's there. On everything else that's not marked is not getting worked on. It ends right here. When I say it ends right here, what do? Do I throw it away? Do I give it away? What do I do? This one, actually, I'm surprised I didn't mark this one. You know what? Let's mark it. That's the beauty of being me. You get to do whatever you want when you want. Oh, you have the same option. You didn't realize that? It's okay. Life's about learning. So these are the ones that I'm going to continue to work on. These are all the ones I'm done with. What I will do is go out to the store, get one of the giant 20-pound bags of wild bird food, drop all these into there. Then I'll go find a park that may have a horse trail or some cow fields next to it, and somehow or another manure might get moved over closer to the walking trail, and then it might happen to get inoculated. Something I've been doing. Christ, that was when we were at the other house now, and we've been out of there for 5 years, and we lived there for 4. I mean, it's something I've been doing like 7, 8 years now, is going around seeding trails. So that's what you should do as well if you have that question. What do I do with this leftover? It's not bad, it's not good. Go give it to your neighborhood. They'll thank you for it. At this point in time, I'd like to thank you for your time, friends. It's all we have. It does not exist. Much love. Stay chubby. And keep an eye out for this video coming up. I got a couple of videos that are in the process of being edited, probably about 6 or 7. I apologize that it's been so long in between uploads, but I'm trying to do start to finishes. And this is one of them. But seeing that it looks so cool, I figured I'd bring it here and show you. Love you. Goodbye. Let's take this moment here. This one's coming in nice. Those yellow spots are just because of the jar. But if you notice, the reason that we did some testing, some samples, and some went, is because not all of them colonizing all the way through. Even now, for the most part, they are. But there's still some work left to do. But I didn't think I could make the video without showing you at least this part of it. And as you see, our A.P.E.R's making progress, and enjoy the next part. Alright friends, so we come down this journey of A.P.E.R. We started out with non-fruiting mycelium. We did 2 transfers, then a test. Test was successful, which was Agar cup fruiting. And now we have our fruits in a jar. So I am going to do a partial harvest. Get this one, this one, this one, that one out. That one down there out. And then we will go from there. And it's at this point in time I'd like to say thank you. And I hope you learned something. Just because you have healthy mycelium doesn't mean you'll yield fruit. And just because you have non-fruiting mycelium doesn't mean that you can't make it yield fruit. You just got to do a little bit of extra work. Thank you. It's at this point in time I'd like to say you're awesome. Thank you for your time. It's all we have. It does not exist. Much love and stay chubby, friends. I just wanted to show you that's all we're doing for the first harvest. I'm actually going to leave that guy in there for now. And this is what we got out. Bye.